Namaste students. Today we are going to continue the chapter Bepin Choudhury's Lapse of Memory, Part 3. Bepin Choudhury's Lapse of Memory, as in the first part, the ghost confuses Bepin Choudhury, and in second part we have read that Bepin Babu doubts now. Bepin Babu asked his driver Sitaram to drive by the Ganga and he regret having paid any heed to ghosts. Yet the incident haunted his mind. The man knew a great deal about him. For the first time, a slight doubt assailed in his mind. Was he losing his mind? But he remembered well that he was at Kanpur. Suddenly he thought of writing to Haridas Bagchi, his host at Kanpur. Then he remembered that Haridas had left for Japan a few weeks before. Bepin Babu decides to confirm. Bepin Babu rolled up his trouser and took a look at his right knee. There was a cut mark. It was difficult to remember when he had got it. Then he thought of Dinesh Mukherjee. Ghosh said that Dinesh was in Ranchi at that time. So students, what happened then? He wanted to go to him at once. But what would Dinesh think of him? Then Bepin Babu cancelled the plan of going to Dinesh, and after all, Bepin Babu knew that he had never been to Ranchi. Dinesh would certainly consider him a little insane, a little mad person, and he will laugh at him and criticize him in front of other people. He knew also that Dinesh was never his well-wisher. Now Bepin Babu comes home. Bepin Babu felt much better when he was at home. After dinner, he lost himself in new office. The incident came back to him. Just before lunch, Bepin Babu decided to ring up Dinesh. Again, he decided to ring up Dinesh. To his surprise, Dinesh confirmed what Ghosh has said, that yes, Bepin Babu was in Kanpur. Bepin Babu is sick. Bepin Babu slammed the receiver down and he had lost his appetite. He did not take his lunch. Mr. Mukherjee has only added to his worries. Now after this we will read part 3 and what happens in part 3. Let us read. Here is the entry of the next character, Chunilal. After lunchtime, Bepin Babu realized that he couldn't possibly carry on sitting at his desk and working. This had never happened in the 25 years he had been with the firm. Now what Bepin Babu said that it had never been happened in the 25 years of his work that he was not able to work properly. He had been with firm. He had a reputation for being tireless. He has the reputation of being tireless, conscientious worker. What do you mean by conscientious worker? Means careful worker. But today his head was in a whirl. Back home at 2:30, Bepin Babu lay down in bed and tried to gather his wits together. He knew that it was possible to lose one's memory through an injury in the head. But he didn't know of a single instance of someone's remembering everything except one particular incident, and a fairly recent and significant one at that. He had always wanted to go to Ranchi. To have gone there, done things, and not to remember was something utterly impossible. Now Bepin Babu is totally worried and confused. That stranger has made worried Bepin Babu, and he says that he is a very good worker of his office, but today his head is in whirl, in tension, and he is not able to work properly. When he was back at home, 2:30, Bepin Babu lay down on his bed. He was feeling very tired and he gathered his wits together, and all the memories he gathered together and knew that it was possible to lose one's memory through an injury. What Bepin Babu say? That if I had injury in my head, then it is possible that I lose my memory, but it had happened now of a single instant of someone. But how it is possible that the person, everything I remember, only one incident I forgot. He had always wanted to go to Ranchi, and he says that I was interested to visit Ranchi, to have gone there. done things, and not to remember was something utterly impossible. But still, he was not able to remember what really happened. At 7:30, Bipin Babu's servant came and announced, Chunni Babu, sir, says it's very important. Here is the entry of the next character of the story, Chunni Lal, Chunni Babu. Now what happened? This character, Bipin Babu doesn't like this character, one of his friend. So when servant announced that Chunni Babu is there and Chunni Babu is asking that is very important work, so he want to meet Bipin Babu. What Bipin Babu says, Bipin Babu knew what Chunni had come for. Chunilal had been at school with him, school fellow, school friend. He had been having a rough time lately and had been coming to see him about a job. He was asking for a job to him, Bipin Babu, for a help. Bipin Babu knew it was not possible to do anything for him. Bipin Babu knew that he cannot do anything for a Chunni Babu. In fact, told him so, and he has told him so that it's not possible for him to do. But Chunni kept turning up like a bed penny. But Chunni again and again keep on coming. Bepin Babu sent word that not only was it not possible for him to see Chunni now, but not in several weeks. Bipin Babu sent a message that it's not possible to meet Chunni right now. So next week he will meet Chunni Babu. Turning up like a bed penny, appearing at a place where one is not welcome. But as soon as the servant stepped out of the room, it struck Bipin Babu that Chunni might remember something about 58 trip. There was no harm in asking him. Now as the servant went out, Chunni Babu tell Chunni Babu that Bipin Babu will meet him in next week. Bipin Babu strikes suddenly that it is good to ask Chunni Babu about the incident of 58 trip. Bipin Babu hurried down the stairs and into the living room. Chunni was about to leave, but seeing Bipin Babu appear, he turned round hopefully. As Bipin Babu ran down the stairs into the living room, and there Chunni was about to leave, but seeing Bipin Babu appear, he turned round hopefully. What hope? His job's hope. But Chunni Babu didn't know that Bipin Babu is there for asking about the trip of Ranchi. Bipin Babu didn't beat about the bush. Beat about the bush means to beat about the bush means to talk about something like that without meaning. But Bipin Babu didn't beat the bush without wasting the time or discussing something else. Bipin Babu directly asked to Chunni Lal, listen Chunni, I want to ask you something. You have a good memory and you have been seeing me off and on for a long time. Listen Chunni, you have a good memory and you have been seeing me off and on for a long time. You know everything about me. Just throw your mind back. Just recall your memory and tell me, did I go to Ranchi in 58? What question he asked? Did I go to Ranchi in 58? Chunni said, 58? It must have been 58, or was it 59? Now see, it's very interesting, student. This one of the friend of Bipin Babu what he will do, the Chunni Lal, because Chunni knows that Bipin doesn't like Chunni Lal. So now what he does, you are sure that I did go to Ranchi? Chunni's look of amazement was not unmixed with worry. Chunni Lal was not worried, he was looking in wonder. Do you mean you have doubt about having gone at all? Now again he is asking, did you mean have doubt about having gone at all? Did I go? Do you remember clearly? Now when Chunni Lal said yes, then he said, do you remember clearly? Bipin Babu is asking, did I go? Chunni sat down on the sofa, fixed Bipin Babu with a long hard stare and said, Bipin, have you taken to drugs or something? Now Chunni Lal sat on the sofa and staring at Bipin Babu. What he asked, Chunni, you have taken drugs or something? As far as I know, you had a clean record where such things were concerned, and I know your memory is very good. I know that old friendships don't mean much to you. I know that friendship means not much to you. You are not interested in friends, but at least you had a good memory. But I know that you had a good memory. You can't really mean that you have forgotten about the Ranchi trip, and I can't believe that you have forgotten about such a good trip, the Ranchi trip. Bipin Babu had to turn away from Chuni's incredulous stare. Now Bipin Babu stood up and said, "Oh, what? Do you remember what my last job was?" asked Chunilal. Now Chunilal asked the question, "Do you remember what was my last job?" "Of course, you worked in travel agency." Now this Chunilal is just testing the memory of Bipin Babu. "Was I who fixed up your railway booking for Ranchi?" "I fixed your railway booking for Ranchi. I went to the station." Now Chunilas is explaining about that trip, the beginning of the trip. "One of the fan in your compartment was not working, and I got an electrician to fix it because I was there. I was in work in travel agency, and I have made ticket for you, booked ticket for you for Ranchi. And have you forgotten everything? Whatever is the matter with you? You don't look too well, you know." Now this Chunilan me confusing again, that you're not looking well, you're not looking normal. What happened to you? Bipin Babu sighed and shook his head. Sighed means Bipin Babu took a deep long breath, and shook his head. "I have been working too hard," he said at last. "That I know I have been working too hard. That must be the reason. Must see about consulting a specialist. Now I must consult some specialist." Doubtless, it was Bipin condition which made Chunila leave without mentioning anything about a job. And after seeing the condition of Bipin Babu, Chunila left the place, left the house of Bipin Babu without asking about him for a job. Paresh Chanda was a young physician with a pair of bright eyes and a sharp nose. Here comes the next character, Paresh Chanda. Bright eyes and sharp nose. He became thoughtful when he heard about Bipin Babu's symptoms. Now he started thinking, worried when he heard about Bipin Babu's symptoms. "Look, Dr. Chanda." Now Bipin Babu is telling, said Bipin Babu desperately, "You must cure me of this horrible illness. You have to cure me, save me from this horrible illness. I can't tell you how it's affecting my work. This illness is affecting my work, and I can't explain it to you how it is affecting." Dr. Chanda shook his head. Yes. "You know what, Mr. Choudhury," he said, "I have never had to deal with a case such as yours. It is my first case. Frankly, this is quite outside my field of experience. Your case is outside of my field of experience, and this is my first time to experience with this type of case. But I have one suggestion." But what doctor is saying, "I have one suggestion for you. I don't know if it will work, but it is worth to try." Now what doctor is going to tell? It can do no harm. I have only one suggestion for you. Bipin Babu leaned forward anxiously, and Bipin Babu was leaning forward anxiously and was ready to hear anything because he wanted to get rid of this confusion and this problem. "As far as I can make out," said Dr. Chanda, "and I think you are of the same opinion. I think you will also follow me. You must have been to Ranchi, but due to some unknown reason, the entire episode has slipped out of your mind." Now, doctor is telling you must have gone to Ranchi, you must have been to Ranchi, but because of some problem, because of some incident, you have forgotten the entire episode. It has slipped out of your mind. What I suggest is that you go to Ranchi once again. Now what doctor is telling, that I suggest you to go to Ranchi once again. The sight of the place may remind you of your trip. This is not possible. More than that I cannot do at the moment. Now what Bipin is telling, this is not possible. I cannot do at this moment. I am prescribing a nerve tonic. I am giving you a nerve tonic and tranquilizer to take it. Sleep is essential. Take a deep sleep or the symptoms will get more pronounced. Otherwise, you will not be able to recover. Bipin Babu felt somewhat better the next morning. After breakfast, he rang up his office, gave some instructions and then procured a first-class ticket for Ranchi for the same evening. Now what happened in the morning after a deep long sleep, and he felt somewhat better in the next morning, and after breakfast he rang up his office, gave some instructions and booked a ticket for Ranchi for the same evening. Here we complete with the third part of this chapter. We will continue the last fourth part of this chapter in our next class. Thank you.